Hi, Ray Hayden here, and this video is going to basically touch on that video I made the other day where I was flipping over as a matter of fact, let's go to the videos thing for a second. It is this video that I'm following up on. It's fixing an upside down video and editing, all right? So the other thing I was doing on that is I killed this sound. You know, we recorded sound while I make the video, but I killed that sound. I turned it off, and I was going to add music to it. So what I do is I go into the other features here from YouTube Studio Beta, right? Go into other features and I go to the audio library. Now it's going to open up the audio library in a different window. And the first thing I do personally, this is what I do, as I hit the attribution, I say attribution not required. And that means if we look at any of these, we're free to use this song and monetize our video, and we don't have to like give any credit to, you know, the party or anything. We don't have to, there's no big disclaimer that we have to put in our video. We're good to go. So attribution not required. That's what I personally use. You can do whatever you want. I see people using some pretty popular music in there, and they have the rights comment in the description below, and I usually check that out. If I hear music in somebody's video and it sounds like something that maybe has a copyright to it, you know, everything does by default. As soon as somebody creates something, it's got a built-in copyright to it, at least in the United States. But so I'll check. I'll actually look and see, and I'm not looking to rat anybody out for violating a copyright thing or whatever, but I might want to say, hey, make sure you got the clearance for that. And usually what happens, by the way, on that issue is there's a copyrighted piece of music playing in the background, or a copyrighted something playing in the background. There's no intention from the creator in any way, shape, or form to have that noise in their video. In fact, they'd probably prefer it not to be there, but accidentally some copyrighted sound got into their video, and sometimes people get a strike for that. So they have to end up going back and chopping that out or something and editing and then re-uploading their video. Which would be unfortunate if you already had statistics locked into it. So there's other issues with all that. But what I want to do is I don't use any music in any of my videos normally. But if I'm going to have a driving video, I'm going to put some music in there so you're not just looking at a screen. Though sometimes that might be good. Maybe you want to kill the sound to it, whatever. But I look for a sound to put in the background, and I go for an attribution not required. Now, there's all kinds of different things in here, and if we sit there and start scrolling, as a matter of fact, if you look along the bottom of my screen here, you'll see that I've actually downloaded some songs from YouTube's library. All you have to do is click the download area, and the download starts. In Windows 10, it just shows up along the bottom here. So here's a bunch of songs I just downloaded, and these are all from the same person. So we're going to go ahead and give a shout out to that particular artist or whatever group. I'm not sure how that all works on the YouTube thing. But I go through and I start listening to music, and actually it's Silent Partner. They just showed up right here. Silent Partner is one that I look at quite a bit. As a matter of fact, every single one of these songs is from Silent Partner. Okay, down along the bottom here, all the ones I downloaded are from Silent Partner, and fortunately for me, I don't, like I said, I don't use much music anyway. But for me, Silent Partner was more often than not the artist or whatever group, whoever the author. Or performer, artist. I don't know how you call it. I'm musically illiterate, but but they are associated with whatever music more often than not that I end up liking. That just for whatever video I'm trying to use it for, it's Silent Partner just seems to be the one that I've gone to more often than not. And it just you start hitting on the same group or whatever, you're gonna probably just do that. And what I did when I say do that is you're gonna search for them. So you go up here to the thing, the search bar, and I search for Silent Partner, and then it doesn't matter. It's still the same thing, but I've limited myself to Silent Partner. So there's one limitation right there, but then you have these other things you can go by. Now, instrument is just going to really give you one of the instruments that's in there or whatever. It doesn't just isolate it by an instrument. Like if you were just looking for a cool trumpet, thing that's only a trumpet, you're not going to really find that, I don't think, because I've tried to limit things. And one thing that I don't want is an organ. Organ music is great, but it's never going to work in any of the videos that I foresee me doing. But drums and bass, they would, a synth, I assume that's a synthesizer. That's probably not going to make it for mine. Acoustic guitar would be a good one. But again, it's not like you're going to isolate that particular instrument from what I've seen so far. You're going to get a song, but that's going to be like one of the instruments, if not the main instrument in the song or the musical piece. So, so basically what I'm saying is there's a lot of searching to go on. So if we go start scrolling through here, you're going to see there's a whole bunch of different things from Silent Partner for which to choose from. And I went through quite a way. And for me, what I have to end up doing is I end up listening to pieces of the music. So I'll start a music. I'm not going to start anything here, but even though the attribution is not required, I'm not going to start up here because I don't want the music playing in the background. But what I do is I start playing them. I click the little play button, I listen, and then there's a red line that goes across the length of the music, or for whatever length it is. It doesn't matter. It stretches across the whole part. So the red line's moving faster or slower, right? Anyways. So basically, I go through and I listen to it, and while I was doing that just today, when I downloaded these songs down here on the bottom, what I was thinking in my mind was, oh my! I can imagine somebody who's getting all this new music at a recording, contract place, like I don't know, some great big music entity that would, go out and sign up artists to make music for their company or whatever. I can't even think of the names of the companies that do that, but whatever. There's a building in Los Angeles, Capitol Records building, so I would kind of think like Capitol Records, right? So, anyways, I can imagine some poor, unfortunately, hey, the music's great and everything else. Nothing against any of the artists out there, but everybody's sending in music to, I don't know, Capitol Records or anybody else or everybody else, right? To see if somebody's going to offer them a contract or maybe want to hear more of their music. You now got to put yourself in their shoes, right? You're the person. Somebody sent you some music, and you got to listen to it, and you got to make up your mind, right? You got to make. How many different companies have walked away from really great artists that went on to make millions and millions and millions or billions of dollars, right? Oopsies, I missed that one. But it's like you listen to a song, and it's like you got to listen to probably like dozens, if not hundreds, if not thousands of different songs every single week. I mean, I imagine you get kind of, tone deaf at some point, after listening to so much music, and there's so much of it, and maybe even so much from, say somebody sends you, they cut an album, an album demo or something like that, and they're going to give you like 10 songs for you to go through to see if you even care or like them or think that they're going to turn a profit for your company. What's to do? What are you going to do with that? And you got to listen to them. And so, here's a good one here, the Seventh Floor Tango. That's a good one. So actually, check this out. And somebody tells me, tell me in the comments below, Seventh Floor Tango. This to me reminded me instantaneously of the sound for this the TV show Sex and the City, or not TV show, but cable show Sex and the City. This one here instantly reminded me of the Sex and the City song or tune, the theme song or whatever, theme music. So I thought that was interesting. So so you can find stuff that's kind of related to musical tunes or songs or something you've heard before. But anyways, bottom line is I've had to go through all of these different things. And Sunday Plans, here's one right here, Sunday Plans. I listened to that. I liked it. It was good. So I thought, hey, this might work on one of my videos someday. So let me download it now. There's one called Give, the next one in the line. Digital Solitude is somewhere in here down the line. But anyway, so I had to go through. I had to go through all these different things and listen. Here's Digital Solitude. Outlet is down here somewhere. Here's Outlet was one. It's only a minute 45, so I'm like, I don't know. So I kept going. It's like The Only Girl. This was a nice one. I just thought that was just a nice sound to it. I liked it. Days Are Long was another one. Let me see if I can find that one here real quick. Oh, Days Are Long. That's it. Okay, now the other thing I liked about this, number one, it sounded good. Number two, it's a 3-minute and 6-second song. So I kind of like that, song. There's no singing, but yeah, I like that one there quite a bit. And then there's another one called Don't Look somewhere down here. And I think that's kind of long as well. I kind of hope it is. MP3. Let me see. Well, I don't want to click on it. It'll start playing. Let me see here. Don't look. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, 4 minutes and 25 seconds. So for this was a winner for a couple of reasons. Number one, first off, the first priority is I had to like it. So the other thing is some of these songs, some of these musical things, you'll listen to it. You start listening to it and say, oh yeah, that sounds good. Okay, that sounds great. But you need to bounce through it and listen to it like, the beginning, a little bit further, and you just click on the red line, it shows up, right? Just click on that red line, check it out, all the way through, because sometimes you're going to be surprised they did something funny in the middle of the song or towards the end of the song. And I want to go into my video editor here and show you something else with this too, where we are, movie. All right, so we're in a movie thing, and what it is, I made, this is my upside down video that I fixed, and I flipped the video upside right, And then we add the songs to it. Well, it's only a 4 minute and 20, well, only, it's a 4 minute, 25 second song. So what's going to happen with that? Well, the thing that's going to happen with it is you're going to have to blend it. This is actually, I had to cut the music and blend it. And let me show you here in the very beginning of the song, there should be something going on. I have to fade in, right? So we'll fade in for a second on the music. And also the way I fade in, this is some kind of fade, this is a normal kind of fade. I use a different fade. My fade is this version here. So it starts out dead silent and then rises up fast rather than rising up fast and blending in, all right? It's a way I do my audio. It's just a personal style. Everybody do what they want to do. Now in this one here, I'm gonna have to change the title to it because I did use the title for the previous video, right? And fixing, oh, actually not really, right? Yeah, it's a video test. Okay, so I'll make sure that the title is good. But then for the music, so I got to fade in, right? And then let's go to the next thing here. As a matter of fact, what I want to do is I want to bring it down to the end here. Now the end of this, I have it fading out that same way I did the fade in. If I click here, okay, so I use the same fade out. So the fade in is like that, and this is the mirror image of the fade in. It's the fade out, and then this is the default one here. But I use this one here because I like it to go. But I also changed the length of it to 3 seconds. Because in this one here, it's different. I want to explain that too. When we listen to the end of this, you're going to have to wait till I upload this video, right? Because this one here is on the making of it, dealing with it, and adding the audio. So first I killed off the audio soundtrack of what I recorded while I was making the video. Then I added the music, which is something I never normally do. I don't normally have music in my videos. So for this one here, because it's a driving video, I'm going to add the background music. I also have to check this out to make sure that the volume of the music is a low. I want it to be a background sound. I don't want it to be overbearing, So I have to go through and what I do is I click the top of this and I'll drag it down to where the music's just a background sound, not like overwhelming. The visual thing is the test. The audio is just something pleasing in the background if I do it right. Okay, so we'll see if it works out that way. Now, most of my edits, let me get here to the edit point. If I can get my, let me see, isolate this one here and get to the edit. Okay, there we go. This is a 2-second fade out, all right? So on my fade out, it's 2 seconds. It's normally not 2 seconds. It's normally, let's click on this thing right here. My fades are usually 1 second. I like 1 second transitions. For me, in my eye, that's just acceptable and pleasing and everything else. For this particular video, as a matter of fact, slide back to the beginning of this video and look at the fade in. If we look at the fade in, it's 1 second. But the fade out on the video is a 2-second fade out back here. All right, so it's a 2-second fade out back here. And then for the audio, it's a 3-second, let me get there, 3-second fade out there. The reason why I did that, and you see what's going on here. Every time you get to the end of something here, something's ending, right? Like, so up here at the top, the end of this is the fade out. So this video would play here that says, please like and subscribe. That fades out, and then this is a fade in to where it says watching and supporting, right? So this video, okay, let's go back here. The video is like full 100%, what is it? What is it? Opacity, all right? So how much you can see it. You can see 100% of the video. But down here, as it fades out, you're going to see less and less. So if we click over here, this video is fading out, okay, over here. So that's what that's the fade out, right? And then, so that's going to fade to black. This thing right here, right, that's that blank spot. Remember I showed you up in the beginning of my video, when I create my template, none of the video and audio and stuff here is you have these different things that show up. Let me zoom out a little bit here, and we'll find them again, right? So it's like it has these things up in the front. Those are the titles. Then it has this, this, and this. These are all squished down here at the beginning. Then when I add the video and elements and stuff like that, this part here goes to the middle of the video, somewhere in the middle of the video, because, and I'll just step forward, because that says watching and supporting. The watching and supporting pops up right around the 50% piece. So if you know my videos, you know that about halfway through, it's going to say watching and supporting. You say, what, man, how long is this video, Ray? And then you see watching and supporting, you say, oh, okay, I'm half done. Then you can decide whether or not you're going to watch the other half. And then at the very end, of course, I, politely ask you to please like and subscribe again, if you made it that far. and then I say watching and supporting, and then now let's zoom in on that. The watching and supporting here, and this is the part that I want to point out, that end piece that I put there, the black screen, this is just black screen. So when I click over here, it's a black screen. Now if I click over here, it's a black screen too, but it's not really because everything's ended, right? There's nothing else past here, so this video stops right here. So when I render it out, that's the end of the video, shows over, right? So that's why I have this black part in here. It allows me to have the video fades out, it says watching and supporting, right? That's basically my tagline. Anytime you see watching and supporting, I want you thinking Ray Hayden. That's what it's all about, right? So the black part here just gives me some black space of video to fade and hang out into. And now you see here the video on the audio part, and this is why it's all important, everything, to have this blank spot at the end for me, because now I have this audio part, this music's playing, and I wanted the video to start fading out first, right? And it is it's a 2-second fade, so it fades out longer. And I'll tell you why is I pulled over into a left turn lane. I'm about to turn left to go across the street here, but you're never going to see that because I fade to black right here as I'm pulling up to the turn area. And then the music, however, I want to start fading out after I start fading out. About 1 second into my fade out, so it's starting to fade into black here, then the music starts fading out and it fades out pretty quick. But at 1 second later, it's all black screen, and then the music's fading out really fast at this point, down to nothing. But I wanted to stretch out the fade out, and that's funny. Stretch out the fade out to the very end of everything, all right? So you're not really going to hear music at the very, very end, but it's going to be obvious what's going on. So that's just the kind of thing that I was doing with that. Now let me pull this song down again. And here's all the songs, by the way. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here, but here's the songs. These the round things, right, with that look like little digital discs kind of thing. So here's this don't look thing. Let me just pull this down here. I'm not going to use it, and I'm going to show you a couple of things with it. The first thing is the very beginning of it. Now, for the first time I put it in, I'm going to do a fade in for a second, right? So let's go out for a second, and what I want, because I zoomed in on this is really long. The 1 second is really long, but if I zoom out a little bit, right, you can see that this 1 second fade in is as long as this 1 second here, right? So that's the 1 second fade in. You can see that you know, and I also changed the way it fades in, right? So I changed it to this type here, right? So that's going to fade in. It's going to start from dead nothing, silence, and if we get rid of this thing right here, if we zoom in real tight, you can see that the song starts nothing for a couple of you know, beats there. There's nothing at all. This is dead silence right here, and then the song picks up. But by doing a fade in for a second, I'm going to go out to the whole second here. One more. There we go. For the whole second, you see I'm pulling up into it, right, and then it gets into the full volume. All right, it's just a, you know, the kind of technique, kind of thing at all. And then at the very back end of this thing, let me zoom out all the way and then zoom into the back end. What I noticed is I didn't like the way this song ended, right? I like the song and everything, but in commercials and everything else, they don't use the entire song. Number one, the commercial's only 30 seconds. Number two, they don't use the whole song, and they may not use any of the wording at all anyway. They might just like a particular section of music, a little sampling of the music, and that's what they wanted. And what I didn't want is I didn't want from about here on. I didn't want any of this. So what I do is I just grab the back. Okay, let's move this guy over here. I grabbed the back end of the music here and I pushed it in. Okay, so I pushed it into that to make sure that when I did my transition between the music, because it repeats, right? Because it's not 12 minutes long or 10 minutes long. It's only 4 minutes long, right? So I had to blend it in. So let's get rid of this one here that I added, and let's go to one of those things, one of those add-in things. Let me slide over to it. Oh, here's one right here. All right, so right here, this is where the music blends in. So I'm actually going to separate them to show you what I did here. All right, so I pushed that one in, right? So it doesn't have that fade out thing that it's got doing. And on this part here, in the beginning part, I actually pushed in a little bit to get rid of that dead space in the middle because I wanted to actually blend these two together. Now, what I think is going to happen here, let's hit the undo button up here because I want them back right where I had them, all right? So I do a 2 second fade in or crossfade. So I'm doing a crossfade here for 2 seconds, and I don't think you're going to even notice it. It's going to be at 4 minutes and 25 seconds into the song. All right, here's the first one. It should be, let me just click right on the center here somewhere, right? And look at that. It's 4 minutes and 23 seconds and 29 frames. So 4 minutes and 24 seconds is the middle of the transition, the first transition. And I don't think, and so here's what's going to be on the screen here. This thing that looks like it's actually two palm trees, a short one and a tall one. Looks like a big palm tree snowman over here. And this telephone pole. That's what's going to be in this video. And actually, just after as I'm passing this telephone pole, if we look right here, there's a fade in as I go around to another street. Let's see if I can get hit in the middle of that, right? So there's the fade in right there. All right, so there's the fade in. Okay, so that's interesting. But right here, as we're approaching that, I'm pointing with my finger like you can see my finger. Right here, right, watch this line, this flashing white line is going to move here while I do that, but my pointer's right here. This is where the crossfade for the music's happening right here, the first one, right? So when you see this in the video, right, there's a fade into the music. I don't think you're going to be able to tell what's going on there, okay? That was my goal, so that it's like seamless. And then when you see the transition of the video right here, then you're going to know that the music transition actually just happened. So, if you can hear that and notice it and everything, that's part of this whole test. It's part of what I'm playing around with. The music, the sound, the transitions, the crossfades, all that kind of stuff, right? So, to see how this works and see if I like the video that the camera shot and everything else and the whole thing. I'll do an analysis of what my conclusions were at the end of all this after I make the video and have that posted too. But this is the second part of making of this video that I wanted to show you and how I found the music in the first place from YouTube, right? So let me see if I can do this and stretch this out to where it fits perfectly. Okay, got the whole project in there. And I'll work on this title. I'll look at it again and see if I want to use the same title. This one here. Maybe I'll make it a part 2. Just kind of leave the title the same, make it part 2 and everything. And you'll see it in the description. But then again, the other thing I wanted to point out was how I had to go through finding the audio, the background music that I was going to use. Now, here's another thing about this. It takes a long time to find the sound, right? Unless you know exactly what you're looking for, unless you have some kind of external, collection of music that you have, can, borrow the rights from or have the rights for and everything else, and you monetize your videos with, and you make your disclaimer in your, description section and stuff. It's difficult for me. It's a hassle and a half for me to go through the audio library and try to find a piece of music that I can use and then loop throughout my video like this here to get the job done. All right. So let me get back to work. I'm going to finish this up and then I will upload that video, and that'll be the next video after this one here. So I just wanted to show you what I was doing, how I was doing it, and pretty much why I was doing it that way. Again, the whole video here is to test the process, and it's to test the video imagery from my camera. And of course, the video was upside down, and I had to flip it upside right to get that job done. So this is the sun is going down part of the thing. And then later on, I went back out. My wife and I went back out to run a couple errands. And this is the nighttime thing. And I wanted to see how the camera performed at night. Now I'm basically checking my camera, checking the editing process, checking using the music, incorporating the music, and then adjusting the music sound so where it's not overpowering, but just a background sound. So let me know what your thoughts on this. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on this video, like this video, make comments below. Let me know that you came by, stop by to say hey. And of course, in the if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And in the next video where I have the final version of this thing up, I'll make a note of that. And let me know what your thoughts are on that too. And then I'll do a conclusion video after all that. All right. So until I catch you in the next video, take care and be well.